Hello everyone, my name is Edu and this is Ready Go Expat. Welcome back to the series of videos about teaching English in China. If you haven't watched the other videos, I'm going to leave the link for the playlist here in the notes below. And in today's video, the last video of the series, I'm going to talk to you about some mistakes that you should avoid when applying for a job and coming to work in China as an English teacher. Ready? Go! The first one is to try to get a different kind of visa. You know, there is a business visa, a student visa. They don't work. The only visa you can get to work in China is a Z visa or work visa. So if the employer is asking you or maybe telling you to come on a business visa and then when you get there, they're going to change the visa, don't do that because it's illegal, it's wrong. And second of all, it's very risky, especially for you. So don't do that. Go with the work visa, and on the visa, make sure that you have written English teacher because that's gonna be your role there. Also, the other thing that is really important is when you read the contract. So the first thing about the contract that you should really be careful is when they show you like the number of teaching hours and the number of classes. Because I had friends who thought they were gonna work up to 25 classes, but then it ended up being up to 25 hours, and each class was 45 minutes long. So that's something that can be tricky. Make sure you read that and you check that with the school, the number of hours and the number of classes. And depending where you go, depending which school you work at, when they have up to certain hours, you are gonna work those certain hours. They're gonna fill up your schedule and you're gonna end up getting all those hours. So if you think it's too much, don't go to that school, try another one. Another thing about the contract that people don't read really well is about the holidays. You know, China has their own national holidays, the Spring Festival or the Chinese New Year being the most popular one. Now, some schools give you 1 week off, other schools give you up to 3 or 4 weeks off. It depends. But also, you get the Chinese national holidays. You usually get them when you sign up at the school. Now, some schools don't give you the Christmas holiday or other Western holidays because it's just they're not celebrating China. So in my first year in China, we worked, all of the foreigners worked on the 25th, 24th, and 25th of December. In my last year, I had the 25th off. So, and also January 1st is a holiday in China, yes, but then I also asked for the 31st off so that I could travel and be with my friends and, you know, spend New Year's Eve together. So make sure you read that about the holidays because some schools might give you some extra days off, others might not. And when you read about that, also make sure that you have paid leave or unpaid leave. Because for the Chinese New Year, for example, if you work at a university, you usually have 1.5 months up to 2 months off, and that's paid leave. When I worked at a training center my first year, I had 2 weeks off for the Chinese New Year, but 1 week was paid, the other was unpaid. So that's very important for you to read. Another thing that is extremely important is to pick the right city. If you want to be in a city where nobody speaks English or most people don't speak English and you want to go there so that you can improve your Chinese, really be in where the culture is really strong and get to know people and stuff, amazing, there are a lot of options. If you want to be in a big city with a big expat community and international restaurants and everything, then obviously pick the largest cities, Shanghai, Beijing, Guangzhou, Shenzhen, and or a very, very, very big city like Nanjing, Qingdao, etc. So make sure you pick the right city because also you might think, well, I'm gonna pick Beijing because it's so international and you know, and it's gonna be great. But just be aware of like the costs there. Rent is gonna be more expensive. So if the school doesn't provide you with an apartment, a rent in Beijing for a bedroom is going to be the same price or even more expensive than what you would pay in my city, Nanchang, which was not a very big city for Chinese standards. And you would get the same, for less than that, you would get an apartment with a 2-bedroom apartment fully furnished. So make sure you also know where you're going, how much money you're going to be able to spend. If your goal working in China, if one of your goals is to save money, then definitely Shanghai is not the best option. And just one more thing about housing. If they don't provide you with housing, you know, that was my case. I never paid for housing in China because part of my contract was that the school would provide an apartment for me, you know, and they, of course, they send me pictures. It's really important that you ask for pictures and videos of the apartment before you go. We had like Western toilet. It was fully furnished. I paid, of course, for electricity, water, gas, but utilities, you know, but the apartments were very nice. I was very lucky. Like, I had really great apartments, and they were all walking distance to the school, so I didn't pay for transportation and stuff. This might vary if you are in a big city where you might need to take the subway, the bus, sometimes Didi, which is like Uber, and so be careful with that. Like, make sure that if they provide you with a monthly stipend for you to pay your own for your own rent, check online, go to forums, try to understand how much it costs to rent a 1-bedroom apartment, 2-bedroom apartment, a studio, etc. It's really common for some contracts in China to have like retention bonus, end of contract bonus, 1 year completion bonus. Read that really well, especially the retention bonus, because you know, how can you, is that really achievable or not? End of contract bonus. Some schools give you that when you, as soon as you finish like the 1 year, you know, the contract. But then I've had people who had trouble with that because they didn't want to re-sign with the school, to sign 1 more year with the school. So the school said, okay, so we're not going to give you the bonus. But they're like, well, but it's in my contract. They're like, well, it is in your contract as long as you continue with us. So make sure you, if there is a bonus somewhere, make sure you understand that. Also with flights, most schools will pay for your flight round trip once a year. Either they're gonna reimburse your flight, or they might, as in my case, they would give me, you know, a certain amount of money that would be approximately what I spend to go back home and then back to China. So also make sure that you read that well, that the money is enough, or else you'll end up paying like a lot of money just to go back to your country. One other thing is about health insurance. Even though most schools provide health insurance, some kind of health insurance, the health insurance that I got, at least, was not like for instance, I had like an infection in my throat, or I had a problem with my food, like something like that, and I had to go to the hospital. I had to pay for that, and I wasn't reimbursed with my insurance. The insurance is for something like very serious, like a serious case or something like very specific condition. But for example, when I had a pain like on my foot or a back pain, and I had to go to the hospital, get injection, get some pills, see a doctor, all of that I paid, you know, and it was not reimbursed. And that's normal from what I've seen. Like, even though the hospitals in China are public, all Chinese citizens pay to see a doctor and for medicine and for exams and stuff like that. And one more piece of advice, very important: make sure when you read blog posts, when you watch YouTube videos, make sure you're watching something updated. You know, during the pandemic, China closed their borders. Even like people with a work visa couldn't go. Right now, there's still an issue with that. Even if you have a work visa, you cannot enter China. But then I've already received some comments from people who have a work visa and were able to get into China already. And as I'm recording this in February 2022. So this video was recorded in February. If you're watching it 6 months later, 8 months later, my piece of advice is watch videos that are updated, read blog posts that are updated, go to the website of the Chinese consulate, Chinese embassy of your country, because there the information is usually updated. Make sure you read things well, you read the reviews, you know, from at least the last 6 months to a year, not 2015. You know, not 2016, because things change quite fast in China. And they also change for foreigners going there, for restrictions, for conditions there and everything. So make sure to read updated material and get information there. I cannot help more because I've left China. I told you that I left in 2020. So I cannot help you more with more updated information. What I got here in this series of videos are testimonials, opinions, and thoughts of me and my friends who have worked there, but that perhaps you should read more updated versions and watch more updated YouTube videos of their testimonials, of other people's opinions and other reviews about schools and everything. Okay, I hope you like this series of videos, and yeah, let me know in the comments below if there's anything else I can help you with. I'll see you next time.